Hello class, this is Dr. Carl Letamendi, and this is a facilitation of the video for Chapter 5 from the Leading with Cultural Intelligence text by Mai Moua. Once again, as I mentioned in all of the videos, I can't take any credit for this PowerPoint. I'm just simply facilitating it. All credit is due to the author. So in this unit, which is Unit 4, we're going to review Chapter 5 of the text, which is titled I Think I Can and I Will. And it initiates by talking about what's called self-efficacy. And self-efficacy is defined as an individual's perceptions of his or her abilities to meet a personal goal he or she has set. So I'll give you kind of like an example of self-efficacy, what it is and what it is not. So for example, like let's say that I perceive that I could, that I know I have a goal that I want to open a business or something like that. But I don't have a lot of self-efficacy, so I'll be like, I want a business, but nah, I don't think I can do it, right? Or on the contrary, I can say, I want to open a business. Okay, let's go. Let's do it. Let's see what the next plan is. What is it that I need to do? And this is someone with self-efficacy. So I do consider myself to be someone who does have self-efficacy because I perceive that when I have a goal, that I know I can accomplish it. So for example, over the last year and a half, I've been developing a nonprofit organization with some colleagues that I have in LA, as well as in the New York area, called Ology Research Group. And it's something that I've been working on for a while and very proud of, even though the ball's moving really slow. I'm glad that I have self-efficacy and that I've developed it over time so that I can accomplish the goals that I have set for myself. So the text provides this table, self-efficacy perspectives about unfamiliar cultural settings. So now we're going to integrate that theme of cultural intelligence into self-efficacy. So then here we have high self-efficacy perspectives about unfamiliar cultural settings. So we have the task is to master unfamiliar settings. And for someone who has low self-efficacy perspectives about unfamiliar cultural settings, would say the task is too big for me to handle, right? High self-efficacy would say that the person sets higher commitment to goals and to the process. Low efficacy looks like no commitment to goals and processes. High self-efficacy is internal motivation to work diligently. Low self-efficacy is motivation is decreased, little or no effort. Someone with high self-efficacy would say, if I fail, I'll try again, such as, with many other endeavors that I've had, you have to fail, you have to get uncomfortable. I'm a firm believer that if you are not uncomfortable, then you're not growing. You have to get uncomfortable in order to grow. And someone with low self-efficacy would say that it's too stressful, too complicated, and frustrating. It focuses on, high self-efficacy focuses on success and removing obstacles. Low self-efficacy focuses on those obstacles and challenges. So, these would be the people who you would say that they stress out too much, right? They stress out too much over little things because they don't, utilize the obstacles as hindrances for them accomplishing their goals. High self-efficacy would visualize positive experiences and outcomes, and on the contrary, someone with low self-efficacy would visualize the negative experience and outcomes. And this is basically like a spectrum. If you can imagine this being somewhat of a spectrum that looks like this, from left to right, someone with high self-efficacy, with like this being the absolute, low self-efficacy with this being right here, you can kind of, plot yourself of where you think you are. And your culture also has some influence on how you perceive your self-efficacy, doesn't it? You can kind of start to think about that. Emotional intelligence and self-efficacy. The text tells us that it's self-management of emotions. Self-management of emotions plays a critical role on your leadership style, and it also requires self-efficacy requires adaptability and also initiative. Adaptability refers to your ability to juggle multiple demands, adapt to new challenges, and adjust to new changes. So it's all about just adapting to the quick changes. If you cannot, then you're in trouble. Your initiative is your competency to seize the challenges and turn them into opportunities, right? So now, I'd like to take a quick pause from this video. And something that I like to do in my videos is offer you all the opportunity to get extra credit. So a lot of people wonder, like, why doesn't Dr. L offer extra credit? Well, I actually do, and you're about to earn it in a second, and I'll tell you how to earn it. So in my videos, sometimes I put clues, and all you have to do is just email me to let me know what the clue is, and that's it. The catch is that you cannot tell all of your friends in this class what the clues are, because if too many or if everyone happens to get the clue by some miracle, then there is no extra credit. So be a little selfish, and all you have to do in order to get this extra credit, whereby you will maximize participation points in this class, is just let me know the image. Let me know what you see in this next image that I'm about to flash in front of your face. So I'm gonna move to the next slide. It's gonna be a picture. So all you have to do to earn the extra credit is just send me an email and just put chapter 5 extra credit hint, and then just email me what you see. Okay, moving on. So now chapter 5 also tells us about mindfulness and self-efficacy. Mindfulness refers to the capacity of an individual to be fully aware of all that one experiences inside the self, which is mind, body, heart, and spirit, and to pay full attention to what is happening outside the self as well, with other people, in the natural world, in our surroundings, maybe in the workplace, in the classroom, wherever you carry yourself about, and with other events that you may be in. Mindfulness has been shown to be effective in innovation and creativity, and it can also help you come to an awareness of your self-efficacy as well. On the contrary, you have mindlessness, which is the contrary of that, right? The polar opposite. So mindlessness is a lack of attention or consciousness, and it occurs because we have accustomed to categorizing things in a way that does not allow for alternative possibilities. So this is kind of similar to what we spoke about in earlier units about attribution theory, right? You categorize things in your brain, and you tell yourself, okay, if I come across this situation again, it's going to happen like this again, right? So that's a little bit of mindlessness also, because you're already used to something, the way that something works, so you've already categorized it, and you do not think outside the box for new alternatives. Mindlessness can then turn into a learned helplessness, which is not good. And learned helplessness, as defined in the text, is a state of futility that follows the experience of multiple failures. Learned helplessness can appear in cultural interaction. So now, I know that I'm just reading these and moving along as I go further into this presentation, but you all should really be taking note of these definitions that are in bold, because they're likely going to be on the exam. So this is actually your study guide right here. All right. Developing your self-efficacy. Identify moments of success. Teach and promote resilience. And resilience is defined as the ability to recover from failure, right? Because everybody wants to win, but you don't always get to win. So it's all about how you get back up. We've heard that, right? Many times before. Provide social role models. And a social role model is an individual who is successful, has accomplished a goal, even in the face of resistance, and who serves as a model of the abilities needed to master the tasks to reach a goal. So, in very short, this can be like a real life hero, right? Somebody who you look up to who's had some successes before in the past. They may have had a lot of obstacles presented to them, but they were able to triumph over those obstacles anyways and get to where they wanted to be and also influence other people. Lastly, we also have here lead by example and support others in their self-efficacy development. Developing your self-efficacy. You want to emphasize self-improvement, and then we come to, again to the notion of cultural competency, which is the ability to successfully interact with individuals of different cultural backgrounds. So within this topic, you also have the concept of being able to adjust quickly, right? Your cultural competency is your ability to recognize cultural differences and adapt quickly to them so that you can maximize your efficiency in that communication. Also, to develop your self efficacy, try to reduce your anxiety and stress related to cultural interactions as well. So you can do that by prepping for that, right? Just being culturally competent is a way to reduce that anxiety and stress, and just being open-minded. You can also keep a stress journal. Not everyone keeps those anymore. Definitely not written anymore. Um, Maybe use your Facebook. I don't know if that helps. And keep a gratitude journal also. That's another recommendation on developing your self-efficacy. Break your goal into smaller, manageable steps. So, for example, if you know that you want to open a business, right? You can set yourself that goal and say, "Yeah, I'm going to open a business." So that's a really big goal. But how are you going to get there? You don't want, if you don't have a lot of self-efficacy, you don't want to take that first step and then fail and say, I'm not going to be able to get a business. You want to be able to take that first step, fail, rebound, take a second step, fail, rebound, maybe take that second step again, you fail again, then you get up, then you take the third step. Breaking your larger and broader goal into smaller, manageable steps is a good thing. Just to give you an example, I'm actually applying for a government grant right now, which is to help people who are leaving jails and try to help them reintegrate back into society, helping them get jobs and education and all that. And in that grant, we are told to to have goals that are broad, but then to have objective which are smaller. So if you think of it like that, for example, one of the goals that that the research grant that I'm working on has is to reduce health disparities among minority jail reentrants. That means people who are leaving jail and coming back into the community. So that's a very broad goal, right? Reducing health disparities among that group. The smaller goals, which are mentioned here, or the objectives, like how I just said, are smaller, right? How are we going to do that? We're going to do that by getting them a counselor who helps them look for health insurance, who also educates them on how health insurance works, who takes them to free clinics, gets them STD exams and all of that stuff. So all of those are smaller objectives, and whether or not we met them will be these manageable steps that we're talking about. So in all of those steps combined, we'll be able to solve that broader goal. Express your feelings and emotions in a healthy manner. Um, you know, Self-explanatory, right? Just don't go crazy. And be willing to compromise and let go also when you have to. Sometimes you have to let go of something good to make room for something better, right? Stay calm and stay focused on the task. Recognize that you cannot control culture. Culture is something that's bigger than all of us. It's something that evolved over decades and hundreds of years, and we can't just go in and criticize people because their cultures are different. We have to work with them. And also be willing to forgive, right? Because sometimes you won't understand someone else's culture and they won't understand your culture either. You might offend them, they might offend you. you might not have intended to offend them. So just be willing to forgive and also to apologize. Whenever these situations happen that are, not intentional. And also keep a good sense of humor. And this concludes the video lecture for Chapter 5 of the Leading with Cultural Intelligence text from Mai Moua. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns about this video lecture or about that hint you saw halfway in, please feel free to let me know. Maybe there will be another hint in the next chapter, maybe not. You'll have to continue watching these videos to find out. My name is Dr. Carl Etamedi, and this again has been a recap of the Chapter 5 PowerPoint, Unit 4. Any questions, feel free to reach out. Have a great day.